Billions spent on fashion, beauty, makeup, nightclubs, drinks, women getting plastic surgery and spending more on fashion to end up more out of touch and separate from even more men who continue to be suckers, who keep wanting to buy more and more to hopefully get through to these women, who keep buying more and more fashion to look sexier and hotter and more out of touch and more lonely. The same keep girls looking and getting hotter and hotter, plastic surgery, nip and tuck, bottles and conspicuous consumption, intolerable cruelty, mean girls, strippers, millionaire matchmaking, gold diggers, buying more valuable items, hoping that this time it will make a difference. Hollywood, Las Vegas, but none of it makes a difference. It's still the same. Sexy women are sizzling right in front of you, T&A all over the place, and it's out of touch. It's right in front of you, but out of touch. You can't have this. So you look for all these different ways you can try to get that, but you aren't supposed to have it. And if you run a big numbers game, maybe you can get some of that, or maybe become a rock star, and then you can. So a lot of pain and frustration, and we go back to the inner and outer game frame. Well, if this is your experience of reality, is you're stuck in the game, you're in the social program of game, it's real when it's right in front of you, and you can't have it, well, then your inner game's at fault, and thus the psychological turmoil.
So all this drama, I mean,
what's going on here? What do you have to do? Pay a woman who thinks she's better than you, pay her $1 million, and then they'll actually listen to you? I mean, you know, what do they expect? They're not giving any signs back. Do they even want you? What do they want? Why are they even out there? All right, you still want them physically, but why on earth are they acting like bitches or just ice cold and disinterested in men in the first place? Then they end up going home alone again. I mean, it's so much damn hard work that you feel like quitting. It's so unnatural, and you're not even one to quit easily at something. But it's so problematic, troublesome, going out again and again, not getting anywhere, but sometimes. And this is the game. Well, wake up. The game is a fabricated behavioral illusion. When the programs, the models of this behavior are out there, I'm talking the Beyoncé's, the Gwen Stefani's, the real social alphas, they're acting, they're directed, they're choreographed, they're acting on stage, they put on the facade. Well, it becomes behavioral because of the type of relationship all the consumers have, so they take on these behavioral attributes and social characteristics. They adapt to their social culture, and the actions become behavioral all the time because they're in relationship to what they think is real. So now this game is become real when you see it on this external social level. It's a consumerist fantasy world that keeps people seeking commercial outlets instead of forming real relationships. Women today, they'll sell out into being webcam girls to make more money, or moving to Vegas, doing stuff on the side, making money. Sexploitation is a business. The game is a fabricated illusion. You can get value from the game, don't get me wrong. I like certain things about it, but I have power and I consciously choose to extract certain types of value, and like certain popular songs and so forth, I like listening to, but I don't let it.
Programming, this is relational mastery.
So anyways, at the root of this, it's all economics. The game. Sexploitation is a business where your sexual energy is being attributed to essentially all these commercial outlets instead of forming real relationships. Instead of understanding what a woman's true character or sexuality is and attributing energy to that, you're attributing it to social alpha models, sexploitation, the pussies on the pedestal, pornography, soft porn. It's all around us in media now, soft porn everywhere. Skin being used to sell, to manipulate, to influence your behavior. And this has been conditioned for years. All right. So we've developed this superficial level of communication reality that appears real, the social matrix. All right. Now, David D'Angelo said it's called sexual currency. I would amend that to call sexual currency as social currency. Sexploitation is purely a social construct at the root. I believe that. It's created and derived socially to influence economic behavior at the roots. So what are your beliefs? Where is your energy going to? What are you attracting more of? More of the game or more of real behavioral response from women? Sexual response, which is flirting, opening up, starting the relationship, getting closer where you're not even thinking of sex, but it happens. All right? It's a very different reality. So let's look at reality here. These views of, courtship and the game, it seems very real, doesn't it? Especially when it's so visceral and right in front of you. When the TNA is right in front of you, you're aware of it more, you want it more. When you see like a sizzling steak and it's right in front of you, you're more aware of it, and it's influencing your state of mind. You want it more than if the sizzling steak was 3 doors down. You wouldn't even know about it. You wouldn't even be thinking of it. So now we have this sexploitation in front of us all over the place, triggering our natural response, which is actually being manipulated, and it's formed a completely superficial social view of reality. The attitude is real. The women are undeniably hot, valuable, and you really do want to get with them when they've really just merely adapted
To their social culture.
All right. The bottle service appears real. The bling looks real. The game really does look undeniably real, that you're influenced by it to spend more or to be socially valuable more because that's what's represented. It's the game. It's a view of reality. It's a level of communication, but it is not the only view or reality of communication. All of this is subjective. So in these programs of courtship and the game, with a paradigm of inner and outer game, a frame of reference of you and them doing courtship or the game as your way of meeting women and being in relationship with them, it's essentially your inner game versus their personal and social value. All right. And without social value, how can you ever compare? Remember the pussies on the pedestal, these women, they really could have so many men just by looking the way they do, because sex for us is a very important thing for men, but it's being manipulated. That energy is being manipulated and directed in all these different unnatural directions. So we have all this surface level social communication with women. And it's the men who can connect with women past that surface level on that true natural level. That man, and you can become that man like I am, that man who can connect with women on that sexual level has a lot of power and favor with women, with millions of women, when you can become that man. But if you keep playing the two social programs of courting women or gaming women, and if you view things in the inner and outer game paradigm, how can you ever compare to what's out there in front of you, which is really just social sexploitation at the root and personal independent development of women? How can you compare to this? It's not even sexual in the first place. All right. How can your own personal value compare to all this leveraged social value and power when you're expected to pay and spend money in all these different ways to attract or get with women? That's all the fabricated social illusion. It's commerce. All right, it's up to you to develop real relationships on that natural sexual level. And to do that, we do it anthropologically. We look at
The root.
We look at natural alpha sources, natural alpha behavior and communication, the way it used to be, cultural and historical differentiation. Don't want to get too deep here, but I'm just introducing things to you. There's a lot to cover.